Good morning, third grade. Miss Fogelman here for your math lesson. Today is November the 23rd, and we are again talking about shapes and their attributes. Today, our learning target is that the student will understand the attributes of a trapezoid and how the trapezoid relates to other shapes. We will first watch the following video on comparing shapes. Let me first make sure I enabled my sound. All right.
Look at the shapes below. Do these shapes have anything in common? In this lesson, you will learn to recognize attributes and shapes by comparing them. Take a look at these shapes. Which of these shapes are quadrilaterals? When you are searching for a quadrilateral, you must first know that quadrilaterals have four sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's sort these shapes into two categories: shapes that are quadrilaterals and shapes that are not quadrilaterals. Which of these shapes on the left have four sides and can stay? This one. Which of these shapes on the right have four sides and need to move to the left? These two. So let's put these shapes in their correct places. Now let's draw a line down the center. All of the shapes on the left are quadrilaterals. All of the shapes on the right are not. Take a look at these shapes. What do all of these shapes have in common? All of these shapes have at least one pair of parallel sides as an attribute. That means they have at least one pair of sides that are opposite from each other, that run in the same direction and are the same distance apart from each other. How do I know if a shape has parallel sides? I pick two sides that are opposite from each other, like this top side and bottom side. If I were to measure the distance between each of those sides with a ruler or with a piece of paper, no matter where I put the paper or the ruler, the two sides would always be the same distance apart. Here's my slip of paper. I will mark the distance between my two opposite sides here and here. No matter where I move my paper, the distance apart stays the same. These opposite sides are the same distance apart, so they are parallel. What about my right and left sides? Here's my slip of paper again. I will mark the distance here and here. If I move my paper, I will notice that my line does not match, so they are not the same distance apart. That means these opposite sides are not parallel. Let's sort these shapes into two categories: shapes with at least one pair of parallel sides and shapes with no parallel sides. Which of these shapes on the left have at least one pair of parallel sides? These two. Which of these shapes on the right have at least one pair of parallel sides? Only this one does. So let's put these shapes in their correct places and draw a line down the center. All of the shapes on the left have at least one pair of parallel sides, while the shapes on the right do not. Take a look at these shapes. What do all of these shapes have in common? We already know that all of these shapes have parallel sides, but all of these shapes also have square corners as an attribute. That means I can put an envelope or a sheet of paper inside of each corner and it will fit perfectly. Let me show you what I mean. Take a look at this rectangle. I can get a sheet of paper or an envelope and place it in the inside of a corner and it will fit perfectly. How do I know if a shape does not have square corners? Let me check these corners. I'll place an envelope in this bottom left corner. The envelope does not fit perfectly. The space inside of this shape's corner is bigger or greater than the space inside a square corner. I will place a sheet of paper in this top right corner. It too does not fit perfectly. The space inside of the shape's corner is smaller or less than the space inside a square corner. I know this because the shape's right side is hidden beneath the paper. And even if I slide my paper over to the left, the side is still hidden. Let's sort these shapes into two categories, shapes with all square corners and shapes without square corners. Which of these shapes on the left have 4 square corners and can stay? This one. Which of these shapes on the right have 4 square corners and need to move left? These two. So let's put these shapes in their correct places. And draw a line down the center. The shapes on the left have all square corners while the shapes on the right do not. Shapes can have many attributes. This shape has 4 sides, making it a quadrilateral. This shape has 2 pairs, 1 and 2 pairs of parallel sides, and the shape has 4 square corners. Because this shape has all of those attributes, it is a rectangle. In this lesson, you learned to recognize attributes and shapes by comparing them.
Okay, so that's a little bit of a beginning to sorting shapes. We have been learning their attributes, and so now we're going to be using those attributes to sort them. Today we'll be learning the attributes of 2 more shapes. The first one is called a trapezoid. These pictures are all pictures of trapezoids. What are the attributes of a trapezoid? Well, the first thing that we see is that they're all quadrilaterals. Why are they quadrilaterals? Because they have 4 sides and 4 angles. So what makes them different than other quadrilaterals? They also have only 1 pair of parallel sides. So only this side and this side are parallel. These 2 sides, as you can see, will cross. So if I do this and this, they will cross. But these 2 sides will never cross. They maintain their distance from each other. Same thing here. These 2 sides always maintain their distance. These 2 sides eventually, let me make sure they go up high enough, will cross. Okay? And the same thing with this shape. So a trapezoid is a 4-sided shape with 4 angles and 1 pair of parallel sides. All right. The next shape I wanted to take a look at is a triangle. Okay. So the attributes of a triangle are, maybe we won't be able to see them. All right, Ms. Fogelman's slideshow has disrupted here, but I will go ahead and talk with you about the attributes of a triangle. Triangles have 3 sides, 3 angles, and they also have what is called a vertice. They have 3 vertices. Vertices are where 2 sides come together. There is a point or an intersection. Those are vertices. So there's 1, 2, 3 vertices. Okay. So a triangle has 3 sides, 3 vertices, and 3 angles. Oh, there it is. Fixed. All right. How many vertices would a quadrilateral have? Okay, so let's go back to our trapezoid. Here's 1 place 2 sides meet. Here's 2 places, 3 places, 4 places. So a trapezoid or a quadrilateral would have 4 vertices. So today you will have a sorting shapes activity in Showbie. While you're sorting the shapes, you are creating your own thing, I would say. So the directions are to create something using a particular set of shapes. So as you sort those shapes, you will be creating an object. So go ahead and make sure you get into Shobi and complete that activity. And I will see you soon. Have a great day.